So sorry, I just remembered to turn that recording on. I'm sorry. Michelle Ovalle. I'll pronounce it right this time.
So as I was saying, I come to share my personal journey in motherhood. And so, and as I want to share this with y'all, it's I grew up and when growing up, it was a very challenging and upbringing in my family with being the oldest of 5 siblings and feeling not loved and being seeing like favoritism among us and that was really hard for me. It was really hard for me. So as I was raised in that environment and with a very high tone environment in my home, and my parents working really really hard to have a roof and food and clean clothes and go to school, and I am very grateful for that, very grateful. But there wasn't any time for emotional support or family or family time to do homework. Like I would see other kids and their moms sit down with their kids and do homework, and I wanted that for my home, but I didn't have it, but it was okay. And then not even time for a comforting hug. And I was remember the other day that I told someone, back then, if I fell, if I was doing something and I fell, that they would give me a little pump in the bottom and say, don't do that anymore. So but it was we had a home. So I'm grateful for that. So as I started my own family, and through the routine, I started seeing that the way I was, the challenge that I had upbringing in my family, it was happening in my own family with my own children. And there's a time that came on one occasion that my husband and I were living separated, and I was down south in a very small home in a very small community, and my family was there, but everybody was doing their own thing. And there was challenging. I had to work 45 minutes away, and my kids, I didn't have a babysitter. And those are the moments that I was grateful because I was with my kids and we had a roof, but there were very hard, challenging moments. And I asked myself, and I appreciate now, how do single parents do it? I appreciate them and I value them so much. And I think about them and I pray for them because I remember that moment. It was not an easy moment. So then on top of that, I got called once for a meeting with a teacher, and my son she said, Miss Ovalle, I see that your son is getting very distracted. He doesn't focus during class. I think you might want to take him to get an assessment with ADHD. And of course, his diagnostic was positive for that. So it was a challenge moment. And we went through that, and I thought everything, okay, this is just a challenge, and we went through that. And then as time progressed and they went into adulthood, again, my son came. He would come from school and isolate himself in his room, and I knew there was something wrong. But that pained me. It pained me because I felt like I did not have what it took to help him. Because every time I wanted to speak to him, he would get so upset and talk to me with very ugly words, hurting words, that I would cry and leave the room. And that would make him even upset more. And that is where I noticed. And I said, I need help. I need help because I need help for me so I can help my family. And I was so, so blessed and grateful to God that I noticed that. And so I prayed and I asked God through his grace. I got introduced to a lady that would help me with she's a wholeness coach, and she helped me. And there is when my plan with Jesus, my journey started. So I'm going to share with you right here. And so there's me. And this is when I started to my journey. And he gave me this in a retreat that I attended. So then later on when my son was, that's when they were young, and when they became into adulthood and I started my journey, he gave me this, and he said, be transformed. And I carry this in my heart all the time. And do not conform yourselves to this age, but to transform by the renewal of your mind, that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and pleasing and perfect. Romans 12:2. So, and I want to share with y'all an exercise. So if you have, you want to grab a piece of paper, I want to share with you a little bit what my journey was to do to help myself and my family. And one of the things is that I made this, and it's called my family design. And I asked myself 2 questions, and I want you to write. I asked myself 2 questions, and what I don't want for my family, and what I want for my family. And that is during this season that you're in right now. And what I have there is the season that I was living, and what I didn't want and what I wanted for my family. And
Do you want
we'll
us
take
to write down our version?
huh?
Do you want us to write down our version of what we don't
Yes,
want?
your version. Yes, I was just, saying that was my version, but to write down your version. Thank you. And we'll take about 2 more minutes. Okay. So now we're gonna write, what do you really want? Out of what you wrote down on your area, that what you want, I want for you to write, what do you really want? And we'll take a minute on that. Okay, and then
Sorry, just a second. I'm trying to think okay, so you're asking, we wrote down what we want and don't want, and now we're doing the priority.
the priority one, yes, we're doing a priority of what we wrote down on what we wanted for our family, or, in this season of time, to take that one that we really want.
Okay, so like choose a priority for the next 6
Yes.
months. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, one more minute,
Yes.
sorry.
Okay. Okay, and so when we achieve that in the next 6 months, what do you think the impact, what do you think that impact is going to be on the other parts of your life? Let me know when y'all are ready. Okay. So then after that, after we already know what priority and what's gonna impact in the other parts of our life, write the 3 words that describe where you are today in this season.
You mean where your relationship is with your adult
Right.
children?
Yes, or any, or with in your family. Like I have adult children. There's some moms that have, smaller children or teenage,
Mhm.
or depending where you are in your life right now, in your season. Did I answer that right, or?
I think so. I may not.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same question. So like we've been focusing on like our family.
Uh-huh.
So 3 words that describe where we are with our family.
Yes,
Yeah.
with
Okay.
yes, it's like where you are today with our family. Yes. Thank you. Okay. So after that, then we're gonna find what virtues are we going to are we going to do or choose the virtues that's going to take us to grow in order to grow or to achieve that.
I think we missed the next, like we wrote down where we are, but we haven't written down where we want to be, what we want to achieve. You know,
Okay.
just do it there.
Yes. Okay, we can just do, sorry, we can
No.
just do it there. We want, where we are and what we want to achieve.
So we
And-
wrote 3 words.
We write the 3 words, sorry, we write the 3 words that describe where we are right now with our family. And what is it, where's it gonna, where is it gonna take us in that area?
Where
Is
we
that,
where we hope that it
yes,
takes us? Or okay,
yes, is that,
Yeah, I think I can tell what the next, like we just missed the part that says like I write down the 3 words that describe where I want to be.
yes. And then after that, yes.
Well, we haven't done that part yet, so can we do
Oh,
that?
okay, okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. So now we're gonna write the virtues that are gonna help us to grow in order to achieve what we want with our family. Virtues can be like, what, like making time or prayer or journaling. I saw one thing that did help me a lot, and I am so excited to attend the book club. I love the book that we're gonna have this in this book club this time. Well, I like all the books, but this one kind of goes in what what I learned, and like it's gonna be great too.
Since y'all are a mother-daughter duo, you probably don't want to share your answers. If you want to,
Huh?
I would love to hear them, but I was going to offer to share mine, if not, just to kind of like bring it to life a little bit.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking that I was gonna share with you one of the things that it was a virtue, you know, when it was really hard for me, it was to stop and make time. I would work day shifts, night shifts during that time. And then I wanted to come home and you know, everything to be okay. So it was really, really hard to just slow down and kind of like it reminds me, Reagan, and that it's like God has the banquet, right? And he has better plans than what I had. But I was over here like, I want to go this way. I want to work 40 hours. I want to work day shifts, extra shifts, so I can buy other things that I had to buy. But so I slowed down, and then I started spending time with my kids, going to the park, going to church. And one of them was, I told them, okay, do y'all have any interest? Would you like to be in school? They got in band, and I would support them and spend time with them and come home and make dinner. It was really hard. It was really hard because I was so used to just working, something that I lived when I was growing up. So now my virtue was, go to church, have priority time with my children, with my husband, make dinner, and not take them to McDonald's so that I could have extra time. So yes, that was really hard. And now that they have grown and that we're empty nesters now, but now I love the way that we're a family, and they'll call me when they have a question. They want to come and visit me. My two boys they live out, one in Austin, and the baby boy lives in College Station, and he's a fireman over there. And my daughter, she lives just like an hour away. But I'm going to share with you my family. And there's me with my husband. And there we are all together. And this is our 25th anniversary pictures. We're going to be married for 27 years in January. And here it is. My son is the one in the middle, the one he was a blessing to me. To me, it's a blessing that I became aware and that I work because I love my husband, I love my family. So it's worth it. So there he is. And then I want to share with you, now that we have that communication that we did not have, I want to share with you a text that I cried, of course, when he sent it to me. And it's right here. And it says, he came to visit me and he had to leave and he wasn't able. Okay, so let me back up a little bit. So when my kids go when they come and visit me and they go, we always pray before they leave. And my son did not like for me to do that. He goes, oh mom. But now he loves for us to pray together. And I want to read this. I'm sorry I left, Mom. I didn't intend to stay longer. I just left in a rush this morning and left anything that I wanted to bring with me. I also have a lot on my mind. I feel so defeated right now, like I can't seem to do anything right. And that to me was just a blessing and beautiful and grateful for, because I got to answer him. And I said, Mijo, that means son. We're all learning to become better. We're in a working process. I love that you become aware and that you will work on it. Also, it's better for you to work with yourself right now than 40 years down the road. In order for you to become better with yourself, it's important to feel failure so that we can learn and get up again. And then we love you, your dad and I, and we're learning not to judge our children and just love them the way, love them for who they are, because they have their own journey. And I'm glad their dad and I can be there for him. And then right here it says, thanks, Ma. And then like a week ago, he just sent me this random text. He goes, I love you, Mama. Keep up the good work. I'm so proud of you. So I love to share. So that's my heart now. I want to share to other moms, other women, to share with them that it is possible, and just let, God work in ourselves, and we can, be that woman God created us to be. And I wanted to share something, and I believe God has miracles for us, and we are not only allowed to ask for that miracle, but obligated to ask for the miracle. So it takes time. It's a process, but God keeps his promise. So do y'all have any questions? Did were the questions helpful? There was kind of a, like a setback, like didn't explain myself on one of them, but if you have a question, I could answer it.
The questions are, I think I understood it right, but Reagan, as long as Audie doesn't have a problem with me answering the questions, I'm good too. So, oh. Well, is that what we want to do now, is to answer those questions?
Yeah, let's share. I want to hear.
Okay.
Or am I holding things up? I'm sorry. Have I
No.
jumped the gun or anything?
No, you've been around long enough in the Rising Tide. You know we're sharers and listeners. So it's like the best part.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. And I can't remember exactly the questions, and you may be able to go back on those from the very start. I can't see exactly what it says because it's a little
Michelle,
I
you
just
wanna
can't get there.
Yeah, Michelle, you want to one of the like slide 4 or 5?
Or that one?
Was it
Okay.
that one, or there was one before that?
Okay, one for that.
Wasn't there?
Is it this one? So
4.
this is the, is it 4? Yeah, this is the one where what we don't want and what we want.
Exactly. And if it's okay for me to share, what I don't want is isolation and comparison. I want everybody to be able to be their own individual, and that be good, as long as we're all trying to work toward the same goal, kind of. What I do want is closeness, and for each one, if nothing else, for each individual to have a good relationship with God. So that's where I am with that. What I want to be able to do with the next one is to be able to listen to my adult children without instruction. I want to be able to just listen and not tell them what to do or how I think they should do it, but just listen. Unless somebody says, how do you get the pickle juice out of the smell out of the cabinet? Now, if you
Yes.
ask me, I'm going to give you all I can. But I mean, I want to be able just to listen. So, I
I'm
can't
gonna
remember
give
what
context
the
on the
next
pickle
question.
juice thing real quick. I'm dead serious. So I had a gallon of pickle juice that I had from when I was pregnant, and I had a little bit left over, and it was sitting in a cabinet. And like the way my cabinet's closed, I have like a little prong that like goes on this other thing, and that's how it holds. And anyway, it's right by that prong, and I guess the prong was loose, and so it was up, and so I closed it, or Eric closed it, somebody closes it, pokes a hole in it, and now my cabinet is soaked in pickle juice. Like it absorbed it, and it's a dark color. And yeah, anyway, so that was the text you got today. Sorry, Mom. Anyway.
That's okay. That's okay. And she asked for, what do I do? And so, of course, I don't know, but I gave her the best I had. So anyway, the next question, I don't remember exactly what the question was, though. Was it the three?
No, the next one was like the one that you really want, like on the one that you just said that you wanted, like for them to listen to them and just let them.
So what I
So
really
for-
want to do is I really want to be very quiet and very patient. And I'm neither one. I have a problem with both. and Audie can attest to that for sure. Where we are today as a family, I truly believe that we're all trying to be. I've got Audie and Jake are my adult children, and then my husband and I. And I think we're all trying to be helpful and open, but I believe that there's a lot of times each one of us at one time or another are frustrated. Probably, in my case, frustrated with myself that I feel like I need to be more patient, more quiet, kind of deal. So, but where I want to be is helpful, open, and not frustrated. I think as long as a family unit can be working towards that goal, and we can all have the same goal. And I think every family wants to be close and happy, but also wants to be individuals. And I get that, because that's where I am right now in this little stage of life. I'm empty nester, and I'm trying to find who I am as an individual, not mom, not grandma, not wife, but just me. So I think all of us in every stage has to remember that individuality. I had short story. Our son is fixing to have, he and his wife are fixing to have their second child, and with their first child, they're very gonna be. I am so sorry. Gonna be very Big Brother. He's got the T-shirt that says Big Brother and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did that so much with Audie that we didn't remember. Now remember, this is Audie, not big sister. This is still Audie. And I have mentioned that several times. Now let's don't forget, he's not just Big Brother, he's Sawyer. And we need to remember that as he's an individual, just like Audie was an individual. And I think that got lost sometimes. Audie's big sister. No, she's Audie. So I think that's very important, is to make sure you let each child and yourselves, your husband and yourself, be an individual. Because I think that gets messed up in young families sometimes. So anyway, and then the virtues, what I'd like to see is patience, silence, and no negative talk. I've got to work on that within myself. So anyway, that's my answers. I don't think they were
Oh.
too bad. So
That's
They're great.
cool.
Thank you for sharing. Yes.
If you don't mind me asking, how would you like to say no negative talk with only positive words? I know that's hard to do. I always have to do that though. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be like on my list, it's like I don't want to be dysregulated and high strung. So I have to switch it. How can I say that without a negative word in it? Don't, won't, quit, you know? So what kind of, like for me, I was like, what's the opposite of high strung? And peaceful wasn't really working for me, so I kind of had to play with it. So for you, what's the opposite of no negative talk?
right now, keep my mouth shut, because I know for a fact I don't have that in place. Learning to not make a comment is going to be big in itself. Then learning that if I feel like there needs to be a comment, not a negative. Sometimes you have to be negative, or no, not be negative, to say something that may not be what the person you're talking to wants to hear. But we've got to remember there's truth involved there too. And it may be your own truth for right now. But if you explain it that way, you see where I am, that's where I need to shut up. I don't have that yet. So instead of making a comment at all, I just need to be quiet for now until the Holy Spirit or someone does something with me.
I can relate to that, Amy. It's the skill of accountability. And that's, you're like kind of flirting between, because I'm with you. I can so relate to that. It's like, well, I was very sharp tongued. And so then I went too far the opposite as I was learning to soften that tongue and to stop having an opinion on everyone's life. But then there are people who actually say, actually, Reagan, I need you to be the person in my life that holds me accountable. But they have to ask. And so like, obviously my husband and I have to hold each other accountable, and my little kids and I, but at someday they may say like, you're not my accountability. And that's hard. I'm not ready for that. That's why y'all are here.
Well, and that's why I'm learning to keep my mouth shut.
Oh, I can relate to that though.
To me, it was like because I feel what you're saying, Amy. And to me was, how can I learn not, to me, I had to learn not to interrupt. I would let them talk, and if I did not like something they were saying, I was just like, I would talk to myself and I say, Michelle, it's okay. You got to let them feel and feel their feelings, show their feelings. And another day when, when God will provide that moment that, it'll come up in the subject and you can say it. So that's one of the first things I practiced too. It was not to give like when I talk to them, I say, baby, I am not gonna tell you what to do, because you're the only one that knows, and you're the only one's gonna learn. But this is what I think. But you don't have to, go by I'm just saying what I think. Okay, baby. Okay, mama. But that's the little steps that I took that I learned, which my big virtue there was, just let them talk, not judge them, and talked about it another day.
Make sure that what I'm trying really hard to do is make sure that I am allowing them to be individuals. because they are not going to have my thoughts. They are not going to be me. They're not going to react the same way I will. That doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means it's different. So I've got to learn, because that was my big thing. If you do it like I do it, you got it made. Not necessarily. And so that's what I'm struggling with, is just trying to keep my mouth shut, let them be the individuals they are. I am probably I feel like the most blessed woman in the world. I've got 2 young adults that married good church going spouses, and they're raising their children in the church. I need to learn to keep my mouth shut because things are good.
Yes. It's love. Yes.
I love that. I liked your question, the virtues, what virtues are you going to need in order to achieve that? Because if you think about it, Amy, if you achieve this, and obviously through God's grace, and you give him all of your desires here, you set it at the foot of the cross, and he blesses you with this virtue, and you are endowed with the gift of patience, where you don't need to say anything. You're just like, yeah, this is who I am. This is what kind of a mom I am. This is what kind of a grandma I am. Like, this is who I am. This is what kind of wife I am. I don't need to interject. I wonder how that's going to impact all the other relationships in your life. The one with God, the one with yourself.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean, because it's not just family. The family is what other people that you don't even realize are watching you. And when they see the calm, or see the patience, or see the camaraderie between, or any of that, that makes people gravitate to, okay, how do you do that? You know, I want to do that. I want to have that with my family. And that's when they really start listening to more of, not necessarily your words, but your actions. They just, because that's where it's got to come from anyway. We can talk all day, but unless they see you being patient or being quiet, then unless they see that, then it's all wasted. So just my take on it, though. I mean, just my take.
No, it sounds like your take, you kind of revealed something to us, and it's that you have a desire to pour into others what you're learning.
Yes.
And that was just a beautiful little act, like, we got to see a little bit of your heart there.
Yep, thank you. But let me go ahead and just say this one thing, and I really shouldn't. Audie's being quiet. It's scaring me to death. I'm playing.
I'm multitasking. I'm sorry. I just had a Zoom meeting that crashed like 3 times, and so I was just trying to be still.
Well, does anybody else have anything to add before we'll wrap it up? Michelle, thank you for sharing your story and your heart and your history with your kids and being in those tough spots. Thank you very much. I love the quote on the miracle. Do you have that quote one more time? I would love to hear that one more time.
It's the miracle.
Yeah.
And if you believe in God, in his miracles, you are not only allowed to ask for a miracle, but obligated to ask for those miracles.
Mm.
Yes. And I wanted to share this. So on one, when I stopped, so when I learned to forgive myself and stop blaming myself as a mother for the lack of fulfillment, I put on my armor. And let God design the woman who I was meant to be designed, because I could not give from an empty well.
Thank
I
you,
wanted
Michelle.
to,
Yeah. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
you're welcome. It's nice being with you here today. And it's a blessing and I'm grateful for y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, if you have any comments, you can go into the Rising Tide Fellowship and I will post the replay tomorrow and you can make your comments there. And then we have our new book club is launching on October 3rd with Anna. And so you can click on book club in there and see it. It's only 7 weeks. It's short and sweet. You don't have to read the book, but you can. It's a really good one. I shared about it and I've had now over 100 comments. Like one lady said, my daughter just became a nun and she's only allowed to take one book other than the Bible with her, and she chose this book. Like, I've heard a lot of good reviews today, but I'm like, well, that might take the cake. So I'm excited to spend 7 weeks with Anna and really learn and just grow our interior piece. So I hope we get to see you guys there. And that's it. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.